Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Pebbly Rose Paper Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy my channel. Always feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding anything that I'm showing you today. You can leave a comment or you can contact me through my online store, which is pebblyrose.stampinup.net. Excuse me. So today I'm going to feature a couple of new products as well as older. So to start off with, I'm featuring the Buffalo Check stamp, and this is in our current holiday catalogue. This will also be carrying over once this catalogue ceases, which will be on the 2nd of January will be our last day of this catalogue. So if you would like to purchase the Buffalo Check, go right ahead and do it now, or you can do it later and you'll still have access to this. It's a beautiful stamp set. I love it and I will be using it today. Also, I'll be featuring some new product from our up and coming occasions catalogue, which will start on the 3rd of January. Or if you would like to order from it in advance, you can join my team and you will be able to order straight from this catalogue as part of your starter kit or from your first order. There's no problems, you can order from this. And in my previous video when I did a haul, I showed you the Fable Friends stamp set. So I'm going to feature this gorgeous little bunny. I love this bunny, so I'm going to be using this bunny today. And I'm also going to show you the Rectangle Stitched Framelits dies. That's a bit of a mouthful for me. And you get 13 dies, which are great. So you'll get to see them up and close. I will bring them up for you so you can see closer the finish of these rectangle dies. So you can order these as a customer from the 3rd of January. All right, we'll get started with our card. And I'll just put these catalogues away. I'm going to be using Balmy Blue card base. This is half an A4 and then I scored it in half again, and that gives me an A6 card base. So I'm just going to burnish that score line. Okay, so you have a nice beautiful crisp edged nice professional finish with our bone folder, really good finish. So you'll need that. Or any other colour you wish. I've got a layering piece of Whisper White cardstock, and that will go over the top. And then I've got some cardstock for the inside and some scrap cardstock of Balmy Blue and Whisper White again. So we'll start off with the outside panel, so I'll put the card base away. And I'm going to bring my Stamparatus. And in my Stamparatus I've got a gridded laminated sheet. This is before the Stampin' Up! Brought out the gridded paper, so I laminated it, so I'm going to use it. I've also got a thin piece of craft foam, which I normally have in here, usually on top, underneath my black foam piece. Why I use it for, and I've explained in a previous video, is because it just gives that little bit of extra lift, especially when I'm stamping near the corners. And also it comes in very handy when I use sometimes the rubber stamps. Now with my Buffalo Check stamp, and I have to stamp on this several times, I find that it's helpful to give that extra lift and give a better impression. So I'll see, this is a theory I have, I hope it's true. I haven't tried it, but I'll try it with you today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this sheet of Whisper White cardstock just there. I'll just grab some painter's tape because I like to put that underneath just to keep it in place. And I find it doesn't affect the finish of the stamping at all. If anything, what I like about it is it keeps the stamp in place, the piece of cardstock in place. And I'll get another piece of, so I normally have like a piece of painter's tape around where I keep my chamois. And I just have it there just in case for times like this. So, and I use sometimes these pieces over and over again. So what I do is I'll just roll it onto itself like that. And I'll just stick it underneath so I make sure it sticks. Get rid of this one because it's not very sticky. And I'll just put that on there. And then I'm going to position the buffalo check stamp set, background stamp, right over the top, and I want to make sure it's kind of straight. I think that will do it. Just make sure it's straight. Yep. All right. So what I'll do now is I'll just put the lid over the top and just make sure it sticks down onto that. I'll take this off and I can press it down. And I've got a piece of clear grip, which is a stick-on vinyl, usually used in haberdashery, and that helps to make these cling stamps cling a little better. So that's why I got it. So now I'm just going to pop that back in place. I'll have everything towards the corner. Make sure this is nice and straight. And I'm going to ink up with the buffalo check in Balmy Blue. So hopefully this works out with the extra cushioning underneath. Okay. Now let's see how that works out. Okay. Got it a bit too much to the side there. So just press, press, press. I want to make sure I get a really good impression. So I just press all over the rows and up. And let's see if that cushion makes a difference. Not too bad. That has actually turned out really lovely. I'll just give it a nice, another little stamp, and hopefully it will pick up. I think the extra cushion underneath really does make a good difference with how this buffalo stamp stamps on. Make sure everything's to the corner. Go over it again. And hopefully all the ink will take up nicely. And yeah, I'll just go over the top of that again. Just give it a good press. I think that will just do me. Otherwise I'll be here all day. But I'm okay with the kind of distressed looking buffalo check, so that's cool. And I'll just take this off. Let that dry off a little. And I'll just clean up my stamping area here, my stamp apparatus and the stamp, and I'll get rid of that now. So I clean as I go because I don't want mess, and we won't need these anymore. And I'll pop this away. And the next thing we're going to stamp is our beautiful little rabbit. How cute. Now, because I've got cling film on this side, I'm going to turn this over now to the regular side. And I'm just going to put this stamp there because this is quite sticky, so it doesn't need any extra help. So I'm going to now stamp this gorgeous little rabbit. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this gorgeous little rabbit with Memento Tuxedo Black. Oops, and I'll just ink that up. And I'll just clean up the stamp apparatus there where the ink just fell down so it doesn't go everywhere. And that's stamped beautifully. Isn't that cute? Okay. And it sticks really well, can I just say. So when you remove these stamps, do so carefully, very carefully. do not pull up because you may pull this rubber off. It is really, really sticky. So do loosen it carefully as you would a photopolymer stamp so you don't rip it off. So it's kind of the same deal, but it is sticky. Look at that. So no problems, it's sticking, and it gave a beautiful impression. And with this also, I'm going to be using this little grass images there too. So I'll just bring up the grass images there. And I'm going to use the framelit as a guide. So I'm planning on using the 3rd largest framelit. So I just want to have a quick look into that as a guide. So I'll stamp that one there. I'll just position that there for the grass. And I'm going to use, oops. Just pop that there. And I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz for the grass. Okay, then I'll position that. As I said, be very careful how you take that off. There. Ink that up. And then I'm going to put a little bit of grass underneath. Okay. Okay. Then I'm just going to clean that up. And that is done with the stamping of this. Just close the lid of my stamp pad. I won't need the Stamparatus anymore, so I'll put that away. Just put my foam underneath there so I don't lose it. Okay, so what I'll do now is just pop this away for now. And I'm going to colour this in using my watercolour pencils and my blender pens. I love my blender pens. I've just got a scrap piece of paper here that I will use to scribble off. And I'm going to colour in now the rabbit. I'm just going to use just a brown, and I'll just do a rough colour. And then I'll do some highlights afterwards. So it doesn't have to be, you know, overly precise when you do, you know, when you use watercolour pencils. So it's just very rough. Then I'm going to grab my blender pen and just blend that all out. Okay, and I'll just do that. So that's a close-up of the rabbit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some highlights just around where these extra little bits are. So basically what I do is wherever I see that there's extra little like bits of definition, like what I'm talking about is like these little bits here and there, like that and that, I just add a bit of extra colour, make it a little darker so that we can blend that out and make it look more defined and just give like shading. And then I'll just grab my blender pen and just give that a little blend, but nothing major, so it looks like it's all blended together. Like that. Like that. I'm not an expert in colouring by any means, but it's just, you know, something I enjoy to do every so often. And now for the, I want to make the jacket blue, so I'm going to grab a similar colour to Balmy Blue. I'll just give this a bit of a screw. That's a bit too dark. Use that one. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Just give this a bit of a colour. Said it's pretty rough, like Peter Rabbit. Just love it. And that's the first thing that came to mind, is it looks like Peter Rabbit. So cute. So I'll just blend that out. And just colour that. Okay, and then I'm going to add a bit more just to highlight it, or just a slightly darker shade just along the edges there, and okay, and then I'll just blend that out with my blender pen. I love the Stampin' Up blender pens. They are fantastic for blending watercolour pencils, and it's an inexpensive way of colouring as well. So I'll bring that up closer so you can see, and I just blended that all out there so it looks nice, just gorgeous. And just going to add a little bit of pink just on the inside of the ears, and I've got a fleshy colour. You can use your petal pink for that if you want to, just along the edges, and then I'll just blend it out towards the middle. So I'll just bring you up closer to see that part so you can see. So this is quite close, but as you can see the ears here, I'm just going to blend that out. See, and then I scribble off the colour, and then I blend it out. Scribble off the colour, then I blend that out and scribble off that colour. So there's a little bit of white space in the middle, if you can see that. And you can blend that out if you wish. So that looks good. And then I'll do the same on that. So I go from the outside in, like so. Oops, completely lost me then. Oops, so sorry about that. Never mind, I hope you saw it before, but I'll just bring you out again. But what I did was, basically was where it was more, where I had more colour, I pulled it out towards there, then I scribbled some off, and then I did the same, and I pulled it back in there and did the same. So there is a bit of white space in the middle. What I can do now that I've got no colour on this is just blend that out in the middle. And that way I can get a bit more white space. So now with this middle part here, I will do this, do the same with the fleshy. So I'll just show you again. So I've got some right on the edges of the rabbit there, and then just make sure I've got no colour. I just blend out like that, scribble off, blend out towards the middle, scribble off, blend out, scribble off, and I keep doing that until it blends into nothing. And then I do that again, scribble off, so it gives like shading, and then I keep I blend that out then, just to make sure that it truly does blend out to nothing. So there we go, that's the middle. It's not too bad, and it's got like a bit of white space in the middle there too. So it's not fully just, you know, just bare. So now with the blender pen, because this is a water-based colours, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and pull some colour away from the grass. So I'll just go over the top with the blender pen and kind of activate the grass. So ideally you should do it when it's a little bit more wet, but I just want to have a little bit of shading of colour, that's all, of the grass around. A lot of that will be trimmed off anyway, but I just want to have that bit of grass so it's not just standing on air. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. And then that's it now. All finished now with the colouring, so I'll take away my colouring pencils and my blender pens. If you haven't gotten blender pens, grab some. These are very versatile, and you can also use your stamp pads and you can blend with those colours as well. I like using watercolour pencils, but I love the effect of watercolour pencils, and that turned out really beautiful. So what I'll grab now is my stitch shaped framelits. I'm going to use the third largest, and you're going to see that when you cut these, you will have a stitching along the inside of the cut, but also you also get a stitch on the outside. So when you have like a bare hole kind of area where there's nothing after you've cut it out, you will see a stitched area there. So I will grab my big shot and we'll cut that out with the magnetic platform. And I'll just cut that out there. All right, I think that looks nice and straight. Yes. And I'll crank that through. Okay, so as you can see where I've cut, I'm not sure if you can see that, there's a stitching there, right round. And now your piece of cardstock has a stitching right round. Isn't that beautiful? I love the stitch shaped framelits, are going to be used quite often. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some balmy blue, and I'm going to get the next size up, which is the fourth one from the smallest. So I'll just grab the fourth one, and I'll just cut out a panel here. And cut that through. And we're done with the big shot. And I just want to show you a cool effect as well. If you don't want to even take this out, look at this, you can have like a double stitched look to your cardstock there too. But you can pull that out. So you can see it better now with the blue, and I think it layers on. Oh, just love that. How cute is that? I love it. Okay, so I'll just pop that away now. So these stitch shaped framelits are available from the 3rd of January, and you can buy them through my online store. They're fabulous. Oh, what I want to do actually right round the rabbit, so it doesn't look very stark and white, is I'm going to do a layer of blue and blend that out. So I'll just grab my blue pencil. Okay, if you've got your Stampin' Up pencils, use those. I'm just doing just a little layer of blue right round the rabbit, just along the outside of it. Just like that. Okay, just very lightly. And the beauty of the blender pen is you can blend that all out. So I'll show you what I did there. See how I did just scribbled a little bit of blue right round. So what I'm going to do now with my blender pen is go from the inside towards and go out and blend that out. So you go like that, like that. And just scribble off every now and then so it's not overly dark. So you do a rough blend and just keep going right round. Right round the rabbit, and then come back again, that's what I'm doing, and I'm just going to blend it out from the top, like from the outside in, just like that. And I'm blending out all of the pencil so you don't see it. It looks seamless and blended. Okay, and there we have it. Can you see that? So it just doesn't look so stark. I just love using my blender pens and watercolour pencils. The effects are beautiful. Just love it. Okay, so we'll just grab now some glue. You can use snail, whatever you wish. Just do a very small, thin layer of glue. You can use your Tombow, whatever you have on hand is fine. And I'll just layer it over the top. And it looks like that. Isn't that beautiful? I love Peter Rabbit. This reminds me of Peter Rabbit. So I'll get my card base and I'm going to bring my my buffalo check background. I'm going to have this over the top, but I do want to add a little bit of some, what is this called? Burlap ribbon. And I'm going to add it across the middle. So just measure out how much I want on either side and give that a cut. Okay, and I think that adds a really nice touch to have that burlap, and it ties in with the rabbit. Oh yeah, I forgot to take this off here. Just get rid of my painter's tape. I like that it's low tack so it won't destroy your project. I'm just going to grab some tape and I'm just going to tape it at the back. I'll do that again on this side. Okay, so you have now a piece of burlap. I'm going to put some glue now on that panel. And you put some over the top of the burlap ribbon too, that will work. And then just layer it on top of the card base. And then I'm going to add my rabbit just there over the side. And I'm going to use dimensionals. So I love this card, like I just love it. And I like that the buffalo check does have a distressed finish to it. I think it's great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimensionals up the top here and down the bottom. And I'll just leave that area in the middle free so that you can go over the top of the burlap ribbon. So then I'll just take off the backings. Okay. And now I'm going to put that right over there. Super adorable. I might put it up, yeah, just here. How cute is that? I love this rabbit. Love it, love it, love it. Now this I'm going to leave blank in terms of sentiments. However, this stamp set comes with Happy Spring, Darling Baby, that will be cute, and Easter Greetings. I think that will be good with the Darling Baby. So what I'll do is I'll bring out the stamp so you can see what you can do then is maybe use your circle stitch shape framelits, or you can use the rectangles again, and they've got some really small ones. Let me see now. It's a little bit big, but you can make it smaller. So anyway, I'll leave it blank, but I just wanted you to see with the sentiment how it would look. And you can do Easter as well, or Happy Spring, whatever you wish. So cute, just adorable. Isn't that gorgeous? So yeah, you can knock yourself out with what sentiment you want to put on now. I'm leaving mine blank because you never know when there's another little baby being born. So we want to finish the inside of the card as well. So I'll grab my layering piece that goes on the inside of the card. So this is already being cut to fit inside. And I'm going to grab my Stamparatus and we will stamp the inside of this panel. And I'm just going to pop it up the top there. I'm going to grab my magnet and I'm going to get the rabbit again. And I'm just going to stamp the rabbit right here. And I'm going to do that in Balmy Blue. I'll just ink up that gorgeous little rabbit. Just ink him up. And there we have a beautifully stamped rabbit in Balmy Blue. Isn't it cute? I really love this stamp set. Normally I don't really go too much for this kind of stamps, but I surprised myself and it was, you know, one of the first things I really wanted to work with. So I really surprised myself. So I'm just going to pull this off carefully so you don't rip it. And let me tell you, these stick very well. Oops. They stick very, very well. Okay. So our card is now complete once I put this inside. So just pop that in there. We also have some gingham DSP coming up too, so you can use that as well in beautiful spring light colours, which is nice. Okay, we'll stick that on there now. And I keep my cards pretty monochromatic. So that's the inside all finished, and that is the outside of the card. Isn't it adorable? I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products I featured today, so you've got the Rectangle Stitched Framelits, they're going to come up on the 3rd of June as a customer. And the Fable Friends, you can get that on the 3rd of June next year, which is not very long to go, only about 2-3 weeks to go. So, and the Buffalo Check you can buy right now from our holiday catalogue. So if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know through my online store at pepperlyrose.stampinup.net. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and I hope to see you again next time. Bye for now.